ladies, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Today we're in my kitchen. I had done a video a couple of months ago sharing with you how I eat. Some of you had requested that I do that video, how I stay thin and I don't gain weight as I go through menopause, and I'm 50. So some of you had some questions. You thought it might be helpful if I shared what I do. So I did. And then I had more questions asking if I could show a day's worth of food or how I typically eat. And I've always kind of avoided making these kinds of videos because my diet varies a lot from day to day. Not the way I eat. The way I eat stays the same, but what I eat changes a lot from day to day. But I do have certain rules that I kind of follow for myself because it's the only way that I will be able to stay thin over the age of 50. So I'm gonna share with you some of the things that I typically eat in a day. And again, just reiterate how I eat. So when I wake up in the morning, I typically fast. What I do is I try not to eat after 7 p.m. If I do, and you know, obviously I'm human and imperfect and sometimes I do, but I try really hard to not eat after 7, and then I try not to eat before like noon or 1. So I typically fast for 14 to 16 hours. Most days it's around 15 hours. I never eat before 14. So I'm doing intermittent fasting, and I've always eaten that way. In fact, when I was working as a registered nurse, I worked the night shift. So I would work at night. I'd typically eat at like 3 in the morning. I wouldn't eat after my break, and then I would choose sleep over eating when I got home. So then I would come home from my shift and I would go to sleep. And this is when I was in my 20s. Things changed in my 30s because I had all my kids from the age of 28 to 38, and I have 4 children. I actually had 5 pregnancies and I have 4 children. So my eating during that 10-year span was very different than it is right now. But then through my 40s, I started eating back to the way that I'm comfortable eating, and it keeps me thin and I feel really great and I have a lot of energy. So I'm gonna jump in and show you what a kind of a typical day would be like. Like I said, I won't eat before like noon or 1. And then it's summer now, so that kind of throws a wrench in it too, because my 2 teen boys, they're young teens, they don't drive or anything yet. So they sometimes want lunch. So sometimes they want to go out to lunch. So if they want to go out to lunch, I will usually try to find something very low carb or a salad while I'm eating out with them. But let's pretend that's not summer anymore. Everyone's back in school, and this is what I would do. So around 1 or 2 p.m., noon, 1, I start to get hungry, and I'll drink something first. Like I'll drink some water, or if I'm drinking some iced tea or something like that, I'll just drink to make sure I'm not thirsty, even though I know, pretty sure I'm hungry. I just try to hold off. I'll drink some iced tea. I'll drink whatever I'm drinking first, and then I'll go prepare something for myself. And what I typically will grab is my version of cereal. I don't eat grains as much as I can avoid them. I try not to eat, like I said, I'm low carb and paleo, so I try not to eat buns or breads or rice or like really any kind of grains. And so I have this grain-free granola. It's really great. It's grain-free granola. I can find it at Whole Foods or my health food stores. And it's called Paleo Nola, grain-free granola, no oats, no grains, no GMOs, gluten-free. It's dairy-free, soy-free. It's all real food, no oats, gluten-free, no grains, no fillers, no artificial anything, and preservative-free. And it only has 7 carbs per quarter cup, and it has 170 calories. So you have to watch it. You can't go wild. This has almonds, pecans, pepitas, honey, walnuts, coconut oil, sunflower seeds, flax seeds, some dried cranberries, and vanilla extract and some cinnamon in it. So that's what this one is, and this is the original. And then I have one called Maple Pancake. This one's almost empty. You can tell I like it more. So I'll show a picture. I took a picture of it when I was eating it today just to show you what it looks like. But I'll pour some of this into a bowl, and then I'll take a half of a banana and I'll cut up the banana and I'll throw that on top of it. And then I'll pour some almond breeze. This is unsweetened vanilla on it, because I try not to drink a lot of dairy or eat a lot of dairy, although I do eat cheese and yogurt. So, you know, I do eat dairy. I just try to not eat a lot of it. So I'll pour this on it, and that will be a really good and filling first meal for me, and that will get me usually until like dinner time. If it doesn't and I need a snack, and this is where things are pretty, this is the way I typically eat. Oh, so if I don't eat that for breakfast, I'll get my Vitamix and I'll put like a cup of ice in it. I'll put a quarter cup of unsweetened yogurt for the protein. I use like a thick Greek yogurt. I get it from Costco. You could get it in 2 big containers. I don't have any right now, so I can't show it to you. But it's not as sweet as Chobani, but I put fruit in it. I'll usually take a banana. I freeze fruit when it's about to turn, if we have fruit in our refrigerator. So I freeze bananas, I freeze blueberries, I freeze strawberries, I freeze pretty much anything before it turns. So I'll just take whatever kind of fruit I want, and I'll put like a quarter cup of that in there. And then I'll put like a little quarter scoop of chia seeds. And these are really great. They're really high in your fatty omega-3s, I think. And they, chia seeds like puff up a lot when they get wet, so they're kind of filling. They're not like tapioca, but kind of, you know, they kind of puff up like that. So I put chia seeds in it, and so I've got the fruit, got the yogurt, the ice for texture, chia seeds, and that's it. And I'll blend it together and then just drink like a big smoothie. I like fruit smoothies better than I like green smoothies, although I do drink green smoothies too. And I do have one thing I forgot to show you. Hold on. This is something my daughters and I really like, and it's nice to have on hand. It's the V8 Healthy Greens with antioxidants, vitamins A and C, 1 serving of veggies, half a serving of fruit, no sugar added, no artificial sweeteners or preservatives, non-GMO, gluten-free, and it's only got 60 calories per 8 fluid ounces. And this has yellow carrots, spinach, cucumber, celery, kale, green bell pepper, pineapple, and apples in it. And you can just pick this up at the grocery store, and it's just a really great thing to have around the house if we're in a hurry. Like if my daughters need to get to their job or get out the door for school or whatever, they really like to drink this. My sons don't like it so much. They really like fruit smoothies, but I really like this too. And so we don't always have this on hand, but this is definitely something we enjoy, and it's really handy. So I wanted to make sure I showed that to you. The other thing I have, and it's in the fridge, I was gonna drag it out, but you know what it looks like, cut up fruit. I always have cut up fruit, like watermelon, pineapple, cucumber. I always have some blueberries like on hand, things that we can grab really fast when we are hungry, so that way we don't go to the pantry, because in the pantry are dry goods, and I try to avoid eating anything that really comes out of a package like that. Not everything like this comes out of a package, but like I don't like to eat crackers that come in a package. I don't like to eat chips and things like that come out of a package. I will, but I try not to, because I feel like that will trigger me to start. It seems too much like convenience food or junk food, even though not all of it is. I just really try to avoid that. The less I go into the pantry, the better. So I always try to go to the fridge where everything is really fresh. The other thing I do is I like to, when we make dinner at night, I like to make extra. So if we're making chicken, I'll make extra chicken to have during the week to use for salads and wraps and things like that. And whatever vegetables we're making, I'll make extra and have on hand. So this is corn from this week. So like if I'm really craving something salty, rather than grab some chips or something like that, I can just grab some corn and like just heat it up in the microwave and maybe put a little salt on it, and it will save satiate that craving. So that's another tip. So now we're talking about lunch or later in the day, something before like dinner time or for dinner. Something that I like for myself are these almond flour grain-free tortillas. They're made from the brand Siete, and these are really good. I know Kathy from Kathy's Beauty Care Chats shows the Siete chips that are grain-free. They're really good. So those are chips that I do enjoy eating. I use those or Bonitos as my tortilla chips if we're eating like Mexican food or chili or something like that. But these are grain-free, non-GMO, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, vegan, and paleo. And I keep some queso cheese in the fridge or some Mexican blend cheese, and I can just make myself up a quesadilla, and I can put chicken on it if we have extra chicken from dinner during the week, or if we made it for dinner, I can just put chicken on my quesadilla. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. Hold on. Guys, no. Okay, so anyways, this is what I eat. Another thing is when I go to Costco, I get the big spring mix container and the baby greens container for salads. And I keep that, I wash it, and I have it all prepared in the fridge. So if I want to have a salad, I'll throw some baby greens. This summer, I've been really loving 2 salads. I'm eating them all the time. I'll put some baby greens into a dish. I'll put some watermelon. I'll put some strawberries. Then I'll put some feta cheese. I always like to have feta cheese. That's the kind of cheese that I really like. I put feta cheese. And then I put some pistachios on it. And let's see, what kind of dressing do I put on that? Oh, just like a little balsamic vinegar on that. And that's like a really delicious and refreshing salad that I've been enjoying a lot this summer. Another salad that I've been really enjoying a lot this summer is some cucumbers, some tomatoes cut up and in a bowl. Sometimes you can put some fresh mozzarella in there if you have that on hand. We have an Aldi pretty close, and they have a nice selection of cheeses there. So sometimes I'll pick up some fresh mozzarella. I'll put that on there. Then I'll put a little oregano, and I'll put some olive oil and lemon juice. And that is a really delicious, refreshing summer salad. And I could just eat that for lunch every day. That and the fruity one I told you about. I also keep some boiled eggs on hand. These are mainly for my son. He loves boiled eggs and he eats them all the time, but I like having them. They're very handy to have on salads and things like that. So sometimes I'll add these for protein. I do like to have protein with every meal. So whatever I'm eating, I make sure that I have protein. So I'm really kind of like high protein, low fat, low carb. So I really just like to have a lot of protein. It's so good for our muscles and keeping us strong. And so I just try to make sure that I have a variety of foods that hit most of the food groups. Some of the drinks that I like to have a lot of variety of teas around. Lately, I've picked up some Tazo tea from the grocery store. They sell it at Starbucks too. It's their passion tea. You can purchase this at Starbucks in the drive-thru too. An iced passion tea lemonade, and you get it with unsweetened lemonade. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so refreshing. I could drink one of those nearly every day. So I did go and I got some passion tea bags, and then I just make some lemonade, some unsweetened lemonade, and I mix it together, and I can drink that in one of my big tumblers. I just put it in my big tumbler, and I can drink that throughout the day, nuts around. So when I go to, these are just from Trader Joe's. These are chili lime, Thai lime and chili almonds, and they also have cashews. I really like these when I'm craving something salty or spicy, because when you're trying to diet or stay thin, you can eat a lot of different seasonings. The seasonings won't make you gain weight, so you can go crazy with the flavor in your seasonings. So I really like that. I like these nuts. And then I also, when I go there, I get a bulk of mixed nuts. I like almonds, pecans, cashews. Sometimes I'll throw in a few macadamias. Those are expensive, so just a little of those. I'll throw in some cranberries, dried cranberries, a small handful of chocolate chips. And I usually get the lower sodium nuts. and I just kind of shake them up in a big bag, and I'll just graze on that when I need a snack. So I'm eating something healthy, it's whole foods, and it's nourishing my body, which is what I think is really important. For a treat, you know, a sweeter treat, sometimes Trader Joe's has these sesame honey cashews, and these are not low calorie. These are, let me see, but they're definitely tasty, and they make you feel like you've had a treat. 170 calories for a quarter cup. So this is like definitely a sometimes food, but it's nourishing, it's healthy for your body. It's not like you're eating a candy bar. So I really like those. And let me think. Oh, I do have some recipes that I cook with to make when I'm like really craving chocolate chip cookies. I do have a recipe for chocolate chip cookies that you use almond flour, coconut flour, butter, eggs, vanilla. So you're taking all the grains out of them. You can throw in your chocolate chips. And I made some yesterday because my sons wanted chocolate chip cookies, and I made them regular chocolate chip cookies, but I don't want to eat those. So I made these for myself. And I did experiment, and I added a little bit of cocoa to the mix to make them a little chocolatier. They're really good. So I can share that recipe with you if you're interested. They're just like keto chocolate chip cookies. So I really like those. And if we eat dinner, then when we eat dinner, we usually grill in the summertime. So we have some set type of meat, a protein, you know, like beef. Sometimes we have chicken, sometimes we have pork. I try not to eat a lot of pork. I just don't really like a lot of pork. And I will have whatever vegetables we're having on the side, like double. I like broccoli, and I like cauliflower and green beans. I really like all my vegetables. And also, I keep frozen vegetables in the freezer, and I keep slices of cheese in the fridge. So if I'm really hungry during the day, I can just eat vegetables. I can put cheese on my steamed vegetables and eat that like a snack or a meal, and that's really good too. So anyway, that is how I eat. It's just a really practical approach. I try to eat, like I said, whole foods. I try to stay out of the pantry. I don't like to eat a lot of processed foods. I'd be lying if I said I never did. So let me just tell you some of the processed foods that I really love. I really love popcorn from the movie theater. That is a favorite of mine. I'll never deprive myself of it. I don't eat it every day, obviously, but that's something I really enjoy. And when I have that popcorn, oh, I'm so sorry. Stop it. Stop it. And when I have that popcorn, I have to have a Diet Coke with it. So I'll get a Diet Coke with my movie theater popcorn, and that is like such a treat. I love it so much. If we go out for pizza, I mentioned in my other video, I'll just take all the topping off the pizza and just eat the topping. We get it like really cheesy with meat and vegetables on it and stuff. So that's how I'll eat when we eat out. You know, I just try just to avoid the carbs as much as I can, and that's what really helps keep me thin. So anyway, if you have any more questions, please ask them below in the comment section. Share with me any tips and tricks that you have for keeping your diet practical and healthy over the age of 45. You know, when we start to hit that menopause age, that's where things get dicey, and we really need to start employing some tricks. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like I was all over the place, but I think you get the gist of how I eat now. So thank you so much for spending some time with me, and I'll see you next time.